Hi guys, Noah Carspecken, Iowa Fire Control, IFC Security. I'm going to bring you a quick video today on what to expect when you get a semi-annual maintenance on your vehicle fire suppression system. I'm going to very quickly go through what we do when we go out on site. I'm going to do another video when we're on site, but this one I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what it is that we do. First and foremost, if it's a new system, we do a layout of the system. So we look at the system, we make sure that if it's a balanced system, unbalanced system, we make sure there's no distribution piping that's installed incorrectly, we make sure that the size of the tank is correct. We do a quick check, we draw the system, make sure that it's all drawn out, and keep those in our file so we have the schematics of the system just in case that system was to dump in the middle of the night. Next thing we do is we undo all the cartridges. We take those cartridges off so we know that we're not going to accidentally actuate the system. If it's an electric system, we're going to go ahead and disarm the system so we make sure that we're not going to have an accidental dump. Next thing that we do is we're going to clean the manual actuators, or we're going to check the electric manual actuators to make sure that they're all in good working condition. After that, we're going to move on to the pneumatic actuators or electric actuators, and again make sure that those are in good condition, make sure that the firing pin is good and sharp and is going to work if we need it to. After that, we're going to go through and we're going to do a touch test on all the hydraulic hosing, on all the electric, whatever it might be, whether it's detection or actuation. We're going to make sure that everything is in good condition. We're going to check out all the triple T's or manifolds, so we're going to go through all the triple T's and make sure they're in good condition. After that, we're going to go ahead, we're going to check the powder or the liquid level in the tanks to make sure that the level is correct. We're going to make sure there's no clumping. We're going to make sure that there's no foreign debris or particles in the wet chemical if it's an LVS system. After that, we're going to take some measurements to make sure that that's all good to go. If it's electric detection, many times there'll be another guy that's already starting to test the electrical connections and checking everything else out on the electric system to make sure that if the remote actuators hit, that everything works correctly. The countdown is in a correct sequence. We're then going to take a cartridge scale and we're going to weigh all the cartridges. And that means we're going to weigh the actuation cartridges and the expellant cartridges. And again, as we're doing this, we're writing everything down. We're making sure that everything is documented. We're going to go ahead and find any safety relief vent valves, and we're going to go ahead and take those off and make sure they're good to go. We're going to document whether the tank is manufactured more than 12 years ago. If it is, then we need to do a hydro test on the tank, change the actuation line, change the cartridges, things like this, making sure we're checking the dates on everything. We're going to go ahead and go through all the parts and pieces. We're going to do a once-over to make sure that we didn't miss anything. Lastly, usually what we're going to do is we're going to hook the tank up through the union that's attached to the tank. We're going to blow through all the distribution lines. So before we do that, usually what we're doing is checking to make sure that all of our blow-off caps are on. If they're not, we're replacing any that need to be replaced. And then we're also making sure that if they're hanging there, that we put them back on the nozzles. And then we make sure that when we blow dry air or nitrogen through that system, that everything's copacetic and that all those blow-off caps get blown off, because in the event of a fire, we want to make sure that those are all blown off. We check and make sure the nozzles are the correct nozzles for the specific hazards, having to do with the initial walkthrough and the hazard analysis on the piece of equipment. We're documenting everything, make sure that everything's good electrically, make sure everything's good pneumatically. If everything checks out, the tanks are good, all the distribution hoses are good, the actuation hoses are good, the expellant lines look good, nozzles look good, tank looks good. Go through all of that and make sure we do a second check with our second individual doing the inspection, and that is a vehicle fire suppression inspection. Now, that is a very fast and efficient way to talk about a vehicle fire suppression inspection, but remember that it's going to take at least 45 minutes, if not 2 hours, to do a good vehicle fire suppression inspection. And if it's the first time and it's a big piece of equipment, could take up to 4 hours. So thanks again for joining us at Iowa Fire Control. Check us out at www.iowafirecontrol.com, Twitter, Facebook, Google. Like us, let us know what you want to see in future videos. Thanks again and have a great day.